Hey there, table tennis fans! Recently, Anders bravely posted a video on YouTube sharing his personal observations about the problem of many current professional table tennis players using illegal serves to win matches. I admire and support Anders for his courage and love for the sport. I, too, started making table tennis videos after noticing the prevalence of illegal serves in international competitions. However, I don't entirely agree with some of the points Anders made in his video. Please allow me to share my thought in this video. First, I have to say, if you haven't watched the full video made by Anders Lind, please go watch it before continue my video, as it provides some insight about how professional table tennis players understand the service rule. In my video, I will only reveal some portion of his video to make comparison with my own understand. So let's start Anders' video.
Hello guys, and welcome to today's video, where I will be discussing a little bit of a controversial topic, which is the increasing of illegal serves in the pro scene in table tennis. I believe right now, if you look at the men's top 100 or top 150 in the world ranking, 80% of the players have serves that by the rules in the ITTF handbook regarding services, they are not actually legal.
Anders believes that in current international table tennis matches, at least 80% of players use illegal serves as a scoring method. While I have never qualified for international competitions and may never see what Anders sees, I can only watch international matches through YouTube and TV broadcasts. I don't believe as many as 80% of players use illegal serves. Occasionally, some players may not serve correctly due to mistakes or nerves. If his claim is correct that 80% of the top 150 players make illegal serves, then I believe the real problem is probably because 80% of the umpire are not perform their duty. It is true that nowadays, many umpires unfamiliar with the serving rules and failing to report illegal serves have led to an increased frequency of illegal serves. The reason of causing such phenomenon, I guess, it is because most of the umpire are not good in playing table tennis and they are under stress to make an embarrassing wrong call. The ugly truth is, due to umpire inaction, some players take risks or even blatantly use illegal serves to confuse and defeat their opponents. In contrast to Anders' observation, I believe many of the top 50 players practice illegal serve as one of their winning arsenal. Therefore, rather than saying that up to 80% of players use illegal serves, it might be more accurate to say that 20% of players use illegal serves and often use this unfair advantage to progress from the early rounds to the finals, giving the impression that 80% of international matches feature illegal serves. Anders has further explained the service rule in detail. However, I believe my version of introduction of table tennis rule might be much informative and simple to understand. Please you may view my other video on the regulation of table tennis service. However, regarding the service rule of projecting ball near vertically, Anders has made an interest point I want to make discussion here.
Near vertically upwards. The rule changed a little bit a few years ago after there were 2 tournaments where we used VAR.
I have to pause Anders' video here because I have never heard of VAR. I have searched the internet and found no reference of VAR to table tennis service rule. Anders has claimed that ITTF had changed the service rule a few years ago. However, that is not correct. The service rule has never been changed since year 2001. And it has no mention of VAR concept neither.
Where there was no decisive number or which angle it could be thrown at, but it was decided that 30 degrees was the most the ball could path to the sides.
It is correct that ITTF service rule does not provide any explicit angle value where the ball must be tossed at. Anders claims that 30 degrees angle has been agreed by ITTF. But it is very ambiguous to say the least. He should have clarified how he defines 30-degree angle. Because when a ball being projected, it has at least 3 different angle value. The first is based on the horizontal axis of the initial toss of the ball when it leaves the palm of the server's free arm. The second is also based on the angle when the ball leaves the palm of the server's free arm, but measured by the vertical axis. The third is based on the trajectory of the ball after traveling through its peak and falling down to the bat. Based on Anders' explanation, it seems like he chooses the third option as he implies to look at the distance of the ball being traveled over the trajectory. If that is really what he means a 30-degree angle, then ITTF has to make this explicitly in the rule because the third option is probably the worst among all. Because it would make almost all serves we have seen today become illegal. Not even Anders' own demonstration of legal serve qualified as legal serve. Let's play back his own demonstration and examine the trajectory angle of his serve.
This, of course, this is legal because it's basically up and down. This, of course, this is legal because it's basically up and down.
Let's not be so strict to the rule that hasn't been officially written in the rule book, shall we? Just joking, I understand filming for YouTube is hard. Not even a pro table tennis player like Anders could always make a perfectly legal serve. Further to my concern regarding to his use of the trajectory angle. We shouldn't assume the tossing ball always travels in a symmetrically perfect up and down trajectory. Due to the variety of throwing angle, tossing power, throwing height, weight and quality of the ball, even the invisible airflow or humidity level may all significantly affect the trajectory of the ball. To make things even more complex, the trajectory of the ball, in general, would normally go through 5 different stages from toss to strike. Especially if you want to make sure the ball complies to near vertically upward and also leaving the palm at least 16 centimeters. The first stage is the initial of the tossing, or the ball leaving the palm of the server's free arm. It should be relatively straight line, no curving is happening in the path. Ideally this should be where we measure the height of ball leaving the palm, at least 16 centimeter. But the rule doesn't explicitly ask for it, so please ignore my thought here. The second stage is when the ball starts to curve toward the highest point due to the nature of gravity. The third stage is when the ball reaches its highest point. Sometimes it could even float for few centimeters before starting to go downward. The fourth stage is when the ball starts to fall from its highest position, but still consists some tossing force applied by the initial of the toss. It appears to have a curvely path too. The fifth stage is when the ball has very little tossing force remaining, causing the ball travels downward in an almost vertical or completely vertical trajectory. Ideally, we should have a consistent measure of the trajectory angle based on the complete life cycle of the tossing ball from the first stage to the fifth stage. However, not every toss of the ball will always complete all 5 stages because some players may strike the ball earlier at the 4th stage. It happens very often in legal low toss serve or legal middle high toss serve. This would immediately make the perfectly legal 30-degree angle toss becomes illegal as the tossing angle becomes wider than 30-degree. Some players loves to make high hand low toss serve. That would also break the 30-degree trajectory angle even if we extend the full life cycle of the toss. It might be the perfect 30-degree trajectory angle. That's why I don't recommend to measure the trajectory angle. We can't give penalty to the server just because the airflow above the server's head is too strong, causing the tossing ball travels wider than 30-degree angle. Do we really need another problematic measurement method to fix the problematic rule? If we can't get a better service rule from ITTF handbook, then I believe the better way to interpret near vertical upward is just focus on the first option, eyeball the initial tossing angle of the ball, which means the ball must be tossed at least 60-degree angle upward from the horizontal axis, or by the second option, in within 30-degree angle from the vertical axis. It will be much effective and simpler for umpire to focus on inspecting the initial tossing angle of the ball too. Because you can address both rules of near vertical upward and ball leaving the palm at least 16 centimeters upward, one stone, two birds. Instead of waiting for the full trajectory to be revealed in split second, then umpire will have to recall whether the ball being tossed vertically, whether the ball has leave the palm at least 16 centimeters, and whether the ball being strike at the decent. Now, let's get back to Anders' video.
So that means for every, let's say you throw the ball 1 meter up, it can maximum go 30 centimeters to one of the sides for it to be legal. So a serve like this, of course this is legal because it's basically up and down, but a serve like this is way too much. This is probably like 60 degrees, so this would be incredibly illegal.
Now Anders changes his theory from 30-degree angle to 30 centimeter. Unfortunately, it is very wrong to interchange from the trajectory angle to travel distance. Because it is very possible to have a super high toss serve ball travel length well beyond 60 centimeter, yet it is near vertically upward. At the same time, it is also very possible to have a very low toss serve ball travels less than 30 cm in length, but fail to meet the requirement of near vertically upward. We should never use this kind of misleading and incorrect measurement method to umpire table tennis serve. If ever such methods being used in tournament, no wonder illegal service is everywhere. No wonder 80% of the world top players serve illegally. It is not Anders' fault, it is just that we all try to work with and work around the bad rule defined by ITTF. But the only solution is, really, to address the elephant in the room. It is the bad rule of near vertical upward. No matter how we try to interpret it, it is still the bad rule. I am making a video on suggesting a better service rule to ITTF. It is still in progress. Please hold your breath with me. Hopefully it will be ready soon. Please subscribe to this channel so you won't miss the next video. Now, let's get back to Anders' video. Anders Lind has further go into the concern of left-handed player serves against right-hand player. Here is what he said.
The primary requirement of the current service law is for the server to ensure that the receiver can see the ball throughout the service, and the umpire or assistant umpire must be satisfied that this is the case. And this rule is probably the most abused of them all. Many players are doing this incorrect, which is that the rule actually states that from you toss the ball and until you hit the ball with your racket, your opponent needs to have vision of the ball at all times, no exceptions. That means hiding the ball with your body, with your arm, that it falls down behind your head. This is incorrect and should result in an illegal service. But I'm also going to show you something now that can maybe change your opinion a little bit on this specific rule. So now the camera is in an angle that is quite similar to if it's getting live streamed at a WTT event or in a league match. And I'm going to do one of my serves. And it's probably gonna look like the ball is getting hidden and that it's falling behind my head. And from this angle, it is. And now from the perspective of a right-handed player receiving a left-handed player's serve, or opposite, a left-handed player receiving a right-handed player's service. And as it's probably looking like, the ball is getting hidden and falling behind my body / head. And from this angle, it is. And now we have the angle if a left-hand player receives a left-handed player's service, or if you did the opposite, right against right, where here we have an open diagonal and the angle to look at the ball is going to be completely different. And as you can probably see, the ball is much more visible, and if it's hidden, it's probably not hidden at all, maybe a very tiny bit, but it's much more from the other two angles you have just watched. And this, I believe, is very weird, because the rules state that you have to serve so that the receiver can see the ball from you toss up the ball, that the ball leaves your racket. But with this rule, that would mean that against a right-handed player, this serve would be illegal, and against a left-handed player, it would be legal. This is completely wrong. It cannot be right in the rules that a serve is allowed against one player but not against another one. The rule needs to have consistency and be the same no matter who is playing against who.
Anders believes that whether a serve is illegal should not depend on the receiver's position. Anders gives an example: when a right-hand player plays against a left-handed player, their serve may be obstructed by the opponent's stance. However, the same serve would not cause obstruction against another right-hand player. Anders finds this rule strange and unsuitable. And first, I am very sorry to tell Anders that his second demonstration of serve isn't fully compliant to the current ITTF service rule neither. Even his left-handed player serves against another left-handed player. I don't want to further complication this video. However, if you are interested in why his demonstration might be illegal regardless of the position where the receiver stands, please refer to my previous video, as I have full details introduction to ITTF service rule by rule, word by word. Let's continue with the concern raised by Anders here. If we look at the service rule in detail. Service rule 2.6.4. From the start of service until it is struck, the ball shall be above the level of the playing surface and behind the server's end line, and it shall not be hidden from the receiver by the server or his or her doubles partner, or by anything they wear or carry. This is precisely what makes table tennis so unique compared to other ball sports. The server is obliged to adjust their serve to avoid obstructing the opponent. if the opponent deliberately chooses a very obscure position, causing the server's serve to become obstructed, the server can use a backhand serve to start the rally, as such serves cannot cause obstruction. Due to the fast speed and small playing surface in table tennis sport, the serve has an absolute advantage. The ITTF set such serving rules to require the server to serve unobstructed based on the receiver's viewpoint. This aims to evenly level the server's advantage and the receiver's disadvantage as a result of reducing the chance of ace serve and reducing third ball attack like shooting fish in a barrel, because this would only make the table tennis sport boring to watch and dreary to play. Therefore, it is the receiver's unique right to appeal to the umpire against an obstructed serve. Some cunning players may abuse this rule to deliberately trouble the server, such as left-handed and right-hand players facing each other and deliberately standing parallel to the server, then complaining about an obstructed serve if the server doesn't make backhand serve or the server toss the ball toward the back of server's body when performing forehand pendulum serve. Only experienced umpires can fairly judge whether the server obstructed the serve or the receiver deliberately chose an overly obscure position that caused them not to see the legal serve. It's a pity that many umpires, once they hear a player's complaint, penalize the server indiscriminately, causing the server to be unable to perform normally due to such malicious interference. For example, in the recent 2024 WTT Singapore tournament, during the round of 16 to 8 matches, Timo Boll used this rule to appeal to the umpire, accusing his opponent, Lin Shadong, of an obstructed serve. Lin Shadong, unable to serve backhand and inexperienced, was emotionally affected and couldn't continue to play well, ultimately losing 1-3 to Timo Boll. In an era where illegal serves have become the trend, Lin Shadong's serve was already reasonably compliant. He just didn't know that the serving rules require slight adjustments to accommodate the receiver's position, especially when facing a left-handed player. If you are interested in digging up the footage of this match, you will easily find that Timo Boll performed more illegal serves in the same match, as he did not toss the ball at least 16 centimeters upward from his palm during serves, yet the umpire turned a blind eye. You may wonder, why didn't Lin Shadong complain about Timo Boll illegal low toss serve? Well, the ITTF service rule is only allowing player to call for a let due to obstruction of blocking service. You are not allowing to perform any other umpire's job. Ultimately, the ITTF needs to establish better rules to prevent players from exploiting loopholes and abusing rules to win, while also improving the quality of umpires. Otherwise, many players who follow the rules will be defeated by illegal serves, and over time, they will also be forced to adapt these illegal techniques. Then the day Anders believes 80% of players use illegal serves will not be far from us. Thank you for watching the video. Once again, I thank Anders Lind trying to open the Pandora of table tennis service rule to the internet. I do have the same hope with Anders Lind that ITTF shall take the concern seriously and bring better rule to our beloved table tennis sport promptly and soon. Thank you all once again. Until next time, happy ponging.